Hey, this is Jeff Nelson. I am a realtor with IXL Real Estate Eastern Shore, and talking today about HOA fees in Daphne, Alabama. So a lot of times when people are moving, they're thinking, oh, I wonder what the HOA is like, or the COA if they're buying a condo. And people have mixed feelings, I think, sometimes about HOA fees. Some people abhor a homeowners association, and some people like it. There's good and bad. There's pros and cons to it, and that's for another video. We could do a long one on that one. But there's a lot of, I think for the most part, people like having an HOA because what it comes down to, it keeps your neighbors from doing crazy stuff like painting their house hot pink, or having an elephant in the backyard, or farm animals or something like that. Roosters crowing at 5 a.m. So there's good things. If your neighbor had 4 cars sitting on cinder blocks in the front yard, that might not be very appealing to you as a next door neighbor. So HOA is appealing in some ways, but you have various different costs involved in HOAs, and some of them are fairly really not expensive whatsoever, and then you have some that are a little higher. But most of the time, it has to do with the amenities, or how much common area there is that has to be maintained. And so I did a quick search in Daphne. And so if you're moving to Daphne, or you're thinking about living in Daphne, these are really, a lot of times people don't think about the cost of an HOA. Most of the properties I looked up, I did a quick search today for homes that are for sale. So if there's not a house for sale in a particular neighborhood, that I'm going to mention a few of them today. So, but it could be that there's not a house for sale today, but maybe tomorrow. So if I'm going to talk about the lowest that I found today, but there might be another neighborhood that just didn't have a house for sale today. So anyway, I'm going with what I saw today that's available. And there was quite a few. There was 166 homes, single family homes. I'm not talking about condos, single family homes that are for sale in Daphne. Out of that, 135 of those are in a HOA. So gives you an idea. What is that, 75%? Something like that. 75% of the homes were in a HOA. So let's talk a little bit about cost. Now, you're going to have some HOAs that charge monthly. You're going to have some that, now of course you could pay a year in advance if you want, but there's some that charge semi-annually, quarterly, and annually. So I saw that HOAs, from what is available today, ranged anywhere from $180 a year. And that was the lowest I found, which what they happen to charge $90 semi-annually. So that equates to about $15 a month. So that was the lowest I saw so far as an HOA goes. And a lot of times too, now as I keep going, remember there's amenities involved too. So there's one, and it goes from 180. Let's just talk about that first. All right. So the lowest was 180, and the highest that I saw was $1,312 a year. All right. So that was the most that I saw. All right. So, and there was all increments in between, 180 to 400 to 600 to 700 a year. So, but the highest one I saw today was $1,312. All right. So let's take a look at that a little bit. You talk about Lake Forest. Lake Forest, they are at $720 a year, so that's $60 a month. But they have 2 pools. They have tennis courts. They have a disc golf course on there. They have a regular golf course, but that has nothing to do with the HOA. That's just a public golf course. But there's common area and that type of thing. So there's a lot of upkeep. It's a large neighborhood, so there's a lot of median strips and in Lake Forest that grass has to be cut, that type of thing. So I can understand that with Lake Forest. Some have very minimal HOAs. Really, they just have maybe a street sign, like in my neighborhood, Highland Park. There's just a street sign. Personally, I think we pay way too much because they just cut the grass around that sign. It's a real nice sign, but you don't have to do too much to the sign. It's already there, brick and wood. And but there's just grass around it, and most of the time the neighbors take care of, you know, planting anything around the sign to make it look pretty. So really, like we pay $360 a year, which isn't much, you know, but times 120 homes, you know, that's like $30-some thousand a year just to cut a little bit of grass. So I don't know. And, you know, who knows? But that's what it is. It is what it is. But you're going to have, so my thinking is this, you're going to have, usually, you're going to have amenities that cause the increase in your HOA fees. So, and you have to have a board. Now, they don't get paid, but, you know, you have a board that are made up from the homeowners usually, and, you know, they decide where the money, how the money is spent and that type of thing. That, again, that's another video series. So let's jump to the highest. Jubilee Farms, fairly new subdivision, started about, I guess, 4 years ago. Large, very large neighborhood, full of new homes. There's going to be well over 1,000 homes in there, if not already. However, they have a very nice pool, big slide. They have two pools. They have a pool that's for 18 and up. And right next to that is the huge pool that has the big slide and all that, 0 entry, and it's very pretty. And then they have a clubhouse, and they have a tremendous amount of common area, green space, and walking trails, and that type of thing. So there's a lot of upkeep there. So I can understand that. Now there's 1,000 or so homes in there. So that's, you know, the HOA is doing pretty good, but they, you know, they have to take responsibility with that money and spend it to make that area nice. So when you're searching for homes in Daphne, thinking about moving here, chances are 75% of the time or a little more, you're going to have an HOA fee. So keep that in mind. And, you know, I can easily check with any, just jump in our MLS. Like I said, there's numbers range from 180 to 312 a year. So just check with me, give me a call, text or email. This is what I do. I sell homes and condos for a living. So get with me, and if you're concerned about HOAs, I can tell you exactly what they're going to be, and you know, tell you if it's annual or that type of thing. And you'll have a better idea of what to expect when purchasing a home. So a lot of people, they buy a home, they don't really think about the HOA or what the cost. They don't even ask unless I tell them. But a lot of times it's not a factor. But you know, if you're spending $1,000 a year, like at Timber Creek, there's another one. Timber Creek was $1,000 a year. Now Timber Creek's very, very nice. It's a very, very nice upscale neighborhood in my opinion. There's some $1 million homes in Timber Creek, but they've got, again, 2 very nice pools. They've got tennis courts, a lot of green space. So anyway, but get with me. If you have any questions about buying or selling a home in Daphne, Alabama, I've been doing this 18 years. Would love to help you, and I got all the information right to my left at my fingertips. So give me a ring. Love to help you. Love to work with you, and I'll see you on the next one.